terrible for the environment and even worse for public health, but it works great for a company that will make money manufacturing and selling whatever new toxic chemical you need to grow their crops. It's a vicious cycle and it must be stopped. Another aggressive tactic used in Monsanto's rise is to sue any farmer whose non-GMO crops become contaminated with GMO patented traits, as though cross-pollination or this contamination is somehow the farmer's fault. There are countless of these stories, and you can get a really good idea of how bad it is by watching Food Inc. and the Future of Food. But public outcry and the media pressure from this issue has actually caused Monsanto to create a section of its website to explain its lawsuits on these farmers. I mean, this is ridiculous. And to date, I mean, it sounds like there's about 400 lawsuits against farmers and 52 lawsuits against small businesses. More recently, Monsanto, and also Monsanto buys its research in large land-grant universities. It gives them huge amounts of money so they can influence the research for biotech that helps them develop seeds so they can then patent to control our food system. And that's something we can change, and that needs to change. But more recently, Monsanto has been in the news for the last-minute rider that was included in the most recent budget. You mentioned this earlier. And I think it really was the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, it sparked the movement to organize a global march against Monsanto. I think that was that catalyzing moment. But it's not all doom and gloom. Our very own Senator Merkley is fighting to repeal the Monsanto rider. He plans to include the amendment in an upcoming farm bill that would repeal that rider, which is great news, and we need to really give him kudos for that, and we need to pressure all the senators and legislators to stand behind him so it actually is included in the farm bill. And additionally, in the Northwest, we're fighting in Washington State to pass a GMO food labeling initiative, which was mentioned earlier as well, but it's going to be the first state to pass GMO food labeling through a popular vote.
Hey Beth.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
You hungry?
Yeah, it's a lot of corn. Is that genetically engineered?
Of course.
Yeah.
Make corn modified corn. Real corn doesn't need to be this big.
So is that a victim of Monsanto back there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely is. But you can see the Grinch is pulling the strings, so...
Oh.
There's something else going on.
Yeah. What did he die of?
Roundup-resistant crops.
Yeah? Was it like cancer or something?
Millions of acres. Yeah, they broke down his cell walls.
That's no good.
And they're resistant to humans as well.
I hear that's happening a lot.
Yeah, that's what I hear as well.
Wake up, Monsanto's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Monsanto's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Monsanto's got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Monsanto's got to go!
Yes to bees! No to Monsanto! Yes to butterflies! No to Monsanto! Yes to ladybugs! No to Monsanto! Yes to bees! No to Monsanto! Yes to clean water! No to
We have about 300 varieties of tomatoes in our collection that we've collected from all over the world. We trial them and test them for their suitability in the Northwest climate. When half of them die from a disease, fusarium wilt, during our wet Oregon spring, instead of being sad, I get kind of excited. It's kind of an evolutionary selection event that teaches us which varieties are fit for our system. When 80% of our fava bean seed crop is killed by a hard frost, I almost jump for joy. I have seriously reframed these challenges because in the ecological school of life, what does not kill you makes you stronger. Every year our seed adapts to challenges and is getting stronger and stronger. And without these challenges, they would probably sit idle and content. This is a whole different way of looking at the world. It is a very ecological perspective. So we're all a little angry here, and that's good. But it's important and it's part of the process. So now I'm going to describe some of the ideological parasites we need to be concerned about and prepared for. Monsanto is not extremely active in the Willamette Valley, because they don't grow much corn and soy here. But there's a lot of sugar beets grown here for planting in the upper Midwest. The seed is produced in the Oregon's Willamette Valley. Oregon grows most of the sugar beet seed for the country, and we need to be aware that 80% of that is Roundup Ready GMO. Some special interests also want to grow canola in the valley, most of which is contaminated with GMO traits. These two crops threaten to contaminate our GMO-free seed with GMO traits. The valley grows a lot of chard, table beets, cabbage, kale, mizuna, and turnip seed, and much more, all of which are at risk. Something a little different that we also need to be concerned about is Clearfield wheat. Clearfield wheat is not technically a GMO, but it is almost the same, as it has an herbicide resistance trait. They achieve this with mutagenic biotech breeding methods that cannot happen naturally. The reason is that it was bred without the typical Roundup Ready genetic modification is because Oregon-grown wheat is being sold to Asia where GMOs are banned. It's like a thief getting off on a technicality. The majority of Oregon-grown wheat is now this Clearfield variety, and it was bred by the BASF Corporation and with cooperation with Oregon State University. There are more almost GMO plant breeding techniques that we should also be concerned about. More and more of the hybrid vegetable seed being sown by gardeners and farmers is of dubious biotech origin. This hybrid seed technology is called cytoplasmic male sterility with protoplast fusion. Cell fusion CMS hybrids for short. An example of this is when a Belgian endive cell had its mitochondria and cytoplasm irradiated out of it, and then a sunflower cell has had its nucleus irradiated away. These two broken cells from different genera are then unnaturally fused together, and the resulting plants produce no pollen and can be used to make hybrid seed. It's not a GMO, but is it any better? I don't like hybrids in general, even the traditional types, because I see them as evolutionary dead ends and as a proprietary control mechanism so that farmers have to buy the seed from the company every year, as seed saving from hybrids is impractical. Not all hybrids are from cell fusion, but more and more are. For example, most of the broccoli is hybrid broccoli that we eat. As farmers, even as organic farmers, we have little choice than to grow this seed. I believe that this technology is fundamentally anti-evolutionary, and there will be many unforeseen consequences. Luckily, many plant breeders and seed growers agree, and we are working to correct this situation. Interestingly, some friends at Oregon State University are in the process of developing an open-pollinated, non-hybrid broccoli that is so far kicking the butts of the hybrids. We don't need them. Every year we have more and more examples of why we don't need them. But we are here today to protest Monsanto. We are here today to protest horrible things that Monsanto does under a smokescreen of trying to feed the world. Remember that it's not just Monsanto that is harming our health and soil and the biodiversity of our food system. They are just the biggest bully on the court. There is also Syngenta, BASF, DuPont, Dow, and many other companies that share the corrupt biotech ideology. However, as an ecologically minded plant breeder and seed producer, I have learned to like and play ball with bullies and parasites. It is best to beat them when you can, but what better way to beat them than to create a healthier, more democratic, decentralized food system with an unshakable foundation of biodiverse seed. We need to make the biotech ideology irrelevant as soon as possible. Oregon is one of the greatest places on earth to grow seed and produce food. What better place to make a stand and prove that the world is what you make of it, and to prove that our way is better than theirs.
Great, man.
We are going to continue to produce seed no matter what they do. In that way, they're already irrelevant. We are going to need your help. The more seed savers, the better. Are there any seed savers out there? That's awesome. Because seed saving is one of the most profound things you can do. Like it's I don't know how many times better it is than voting with your dollar. So let's create a resilient seed system together, and thank you for coming out and supporting us.
I'm here standing with you today because I'm an urban forager. I pick wild plants in the urban areas in Portland, and I eat them. And I make herbal medicines with them. And I teach other people how to do this. And I have a vested interest in a clean, toxin-free city. I'm very concerned about exposing myself and others to pesticides. I'm also really interested in giving our community access to free food and medicine. My passion is letting people know that wild plants are useful to us, and that nature's wild abundance is a gift. Something to embrace, not something we need to dominate or kill, especially with toxic chemicals. We talk about farmers dousing our land in Roundup, and the dangers that causes to our health and the earth. That's why we buy organic. But what a lot of people don't know is that the same chemical cocktail is being sprayed in lawns and parks all around us.
That's right.
Homeowners use 10 times more Roundup per acre than farmers do. Not only are our neighbors spraying it all over the place, but so are we through our tax dollars, which the city spends on Roundup to spray in the parks.
Yes, right. That's right.
All around us. You see these trees?
Come on.
You see the dead zones around these trees? There's little rings of just dirt. That's
Come
where
on.
Roundup was sprayed,
That's
in
right.
this park. And it doesn't have to be this way. Anyone who's enjoyed dandelion coffee, or blackberry syrup, or garlic mustard pesto, or who's drank red clover flower or mullein leaf tea, or who's made a salve with St. John's wort, understands how useful weeds can be for us. The city of Portland and Metro kill very useful edible and medicinal plants using Monsanto's flagship product, Roundup. Our tax dollars go directly into Monsanto's pockets. If you talk to people who work for Metro or the Portland parks, they'll tell you that they trust Monsanto's claims that Roundup is safe. But I don't trust Monsanto. No. In 2 instances, the EPA caught labs hired by Monsanto falsifying data on Roundup to make it sound safer than it is. The European Union lists its active ingredient, glyphosate, as dangerous for the environment and toxic to aquatic organisms. Studies link it to birth defects and to cancer. The EPA is actually now reevaluating Roundup's active ingredient and is considering banning it in 2015. We're Portland. We're supposed to be leading the nation in being green. All around the country, cities are banning the use of pesticides, especially Roundup, in their parks. 90% of Chicago's parks are chemical-free. The parks in Boulder, Colorado ban Roundup. Why not Portland? Please tell your neighbors about the dangers of Roundup and ask them to go toxin-free. And tell them that a wild lawn is a good lawn because weeds are food and medicine. Thank you.